This is Ken Long from Tortoise Capital. A quick daily debrief and a look ahead for 25 January 2016. We're looking ahead to the 26th. A few things to notice. The market rejected the price at the top of the dragon. The dragon is completely out of the river. Price came to the north edge of the dragon, rejected soundly in a large range day and closed poorly. Next price targets here, 187, 184, 181. I just want you to notice the slope of the 30-day regression line is lowest point in the last 6 months at minus 0.70. The 10-period regression line also sloping way down. We're deep into the bear. Jaws of PPO are still open to the downside. Couldn't even get to overbought and was rejected here. So that's not good. Shifting now to some charts of interest, I just want to show you the power of the RLCO framework. This is Brazil on a weekly basis. You can see the river in the middle, the floodplain, and then the outer Z3 bands. And I want you to notice the dragon, which is the 10-period Bollinger Band plus or minus a half. And then the 10-period regression line, so that's going to be a regression line on 10 weeks. Which we're treating as price. And so the failure here, when the RL10 comes through the dragon as an area to get short, starting with the stop at the top of the river, you're never out of this position. We're never out of this position. Just use the top of the river. You can see the slope of the RL270, which we treat as fair value, continuing to push price down. So if you follow this idea, RL10 comes out of the dragon, you're short. When the RL10 rolls up and crosses out of the river to the upside, you cover. Maybe you go long. The time to get short again and to cover this long is here when the RL10 comes through the dragon once more. You're short. You cover and or you're long. You're short again. You're still short. Shift down to a daily. This is what those turning points from that weekly chart look like, expressed now during the day. And you can see those are indications of major turning points. And you're getting all of the big moves. You're still being available for the short-term moves. Now when we zoom in on Brazil, today was a big rejection in Brazil. Couldn't even get to the edge of the dragon and failed. The last couple times that happened, rejected at the dragon and short, rejected at the dragon and short, rejected at the dragon and short, and if we get below 17 and a quarter, it's even worse in Brazil. This is China FXI, also on a daily. Here's that RL10 failure at 35 and a half. We're down just under 30. This is rejection at the dragon. The dragon is completely out of the river. So this failure is key, and then if it fails below about 2660 or 2867, it's more shorts. These are the Dow Industrials on the daily. The RL10 crosses. This failure here, not as pronounced as Brazil, and it's still above this swing low, and we got two dots, so there's still some potential for recovery here. So I'm willing to go long at about 161 on a mechanical entry with a stop down here. But if we get weakness, the next target down here is 154. If it violates 154, look out below, because then the test is back here into August at 150. This is Devon Energy, one of our trading favorites, both long side and short side in energy. Big failure today. Not healthy in the energy sector. That little 2-day rally just got punched in the mouth, and failure today. And then failure below about 19 and a half is very difficult for Devon to recover from. Microsoft has been a tech leader Here's that 1, 2, 3 recovery from last week. Still looking relatively good compared to some of these other symbols we've looked at, but it has still looking like a leader right here. It's right at the RL 270. This is a natural place for it to find support. I don't mind an entry here around 5260. Target the Bollinger Band main, the far side of the river, and then the far side of the floodplain. The real test will be if it gets above 56 and this hump in the dragon, then it's clearly off to the races and the recovery will be in. But this is going to be a bellwether. You can see the RL10 is still curling up, and the recovery held, or the failure today was not as pronounced as in the other indexes. But that's troublesome. The one I'm concerned about is McDonald's. This was a Dow leader, and there's a lot of people suffering right now. The big gap opening failed hard all day. It's back to where price ought to be, around that RL10, and it's still above the hump of the dragon, and so there's still some buying pressure. But this is really the upper limit. I think if it gets back up in here, there will be some people covering, and then that's a tactical play tomorrow. If it opens, does well, hits this resistance, and then starts to sell off, that's people looking to cash, and then I think it's a short play once more. But if it gets above 122 out here past this, really up to the RL90 and beyond, then McDonald's should continue to be a tech leader, or a large cap leader. So there we are. Quick look at some targets for tomorrow. Keep your risk measured and your powder dry. This is Ken Law from Tortoise Capital.